Today we're going to be looking at a new way of organizing data into something called a line plot. Line plots are a way of organizing all of this data up here that we've been given into something that's easy to read. It's kind of like you've done in the past with bar graphs or line graphs. Line plots are very, very simple. They have a lot of the same features as bar graphs or line graphs. However, instead of drawing a bar or a line and connecting dots, you actually are just going to use dots or X's to represent people. So what you'll see up top is a list of the people who want to participate in a summer soccer camp. And when you look at your list, you're going to notice that not only are we given the students' names, we have a bunch of different ages, and we have some boys and some girls, or they've called it males and females. So we're going to take all this jumbled data and we're going to organize it into a nice, neat line plot that will be very easy to see. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a line plot for the female players. So I'm going to take my pink marker here and I'm going to find all of the female players and just mark them. And I'm looking at the ages here because we want to show that they're female and we want to know their age. So it looks like the youngest age I have in my list is 8 and that the oldest age I have is 12. So what that means is that we're going to come down here to create our line plot and we're going to call this female soccer players. And then under this little line, which is normally like the bottom axis of your bar graph or your line graph, we're going to write age. And we're going to show that we're going to be showing how many players are 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. So we want to count by the same increment just like we would on any other bar graph or line graph. So up top, we're going to start with our 8-year-olds. So I'm going to go find all my female 8-year-olds that I've marked. And that is 1, and 2, and 3. So we have 3 8-year-old female soccer players. So I'm going to put, a lot of times they use dots or X's on their line plot. I'm going to put 3 X's to show that there are 3 players that are 8 years old. Next, I'm going to go look for my 9-year-olds. So I'm going to find that there is no 9-year-old players that are girls. So I'm just going to leave this section of my line plot blank to show that there are no female soccer players who are 9 years old. Then we'll go to our 10-year-olds, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females. So we're going to go to our 10, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X's to represent 6 players that are 10 years old. Now we have our 11-year-olds. So we will go to 1, 2, and that's it. So 2 players are 11. And then last but not least, our 12-year-old female soccer players. So we have 1 here. So just 1 X above the 12 shows us that there's 1 player. So this is a very quick and easy way to see, for example, that most of our players our female players are age 10. We don't have any 9-year-olds. We can tell that we only have 1 12-year-old. We can see this information a lot faster and a lot easier than trying to sift through this list up here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a similar line plot, but we're going to do it for boys. And so I'm going to take this, move it over here for us. And now we're just going to do the same thing, but we're going to look at boy soccer players. And so we're going to still have their age down here. And the ages still are ranging from 8 to 12. And we're going to put male soccer players as our title. Very important that we know what our line plot is showing us. and then we can count from there how many 8-year-old boys we have. So I can see we have 2 boys that are 8. And then I can look for my 9-year-olds, and I have 1 9-year-old player who is male. Now we're going to look for 10-year-olds. So we're going to find 1. Already marked that one off. That's gone. 2 10-year-olds. 11-year-olds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 11-year-olds. And 1 12-year-old. So, we have 2 line plots now that show us the participants that are going to be in our soccer camp. And the nice thing about these line plots is that we can now use these to see all kinds of information very quickly and very easily. And so, for example, there's some questions up here that go along with these 2 line plots. The first one says, are there more 8-year-old girls or 8-year-old boys attending soccer camp? Rather than having to sift through this list of data, we can very quickly look and compare our 8-year-old boys and our 8-year-old girls and clearly see that there are more 8-year-old girls because there are 1, 2, 3 versus only 2 8-year-old boys. So then the answer here would be girls. Now, how many girls are 10, 11, or 12 years old? This is going to tell us to go to our girls line plot and to really look at only the 10, 11, and 12-year-old group. So for that question, I'm going to only look right here on my graph or on my line plot, and I'm going to see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 girls that are of any of those ages. How many boys are over 7 years old? So we really have to pay close attention for the wording on line plots, and that's really what makes them tricky. Over 7 means you don't count 7, but you have to be over 7. So we're counting for 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way up to 12. So basically, considering all of our ages start at 8, we can count everybody on this line plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 players are over the age of 7. How many more are our comparison word phrase that we saw a lot in different word problems. So how many more means I'm comparing, which in math means tell the difference. How many more 10-year-old girls are there than, another subtraction clue, 9-year-old girls? So we're going to take our 10-year-old girls and our 9-year-old girls and compare them. Well, there were no 9-year-old girls, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10-year-old girls. So how many more would be 6 minus 0? There are 6 more 10-year-old girls than 9-year-old girls. Now they ask us to compare how many more 10-year-old girls are there than 10-year-old boys. So we're going to have to compare both line plots. 10-year-old girls, there were 6. Boys, there were only 2. So if I compare those, I'm going to subtract. There was 10 girls minus 2 boys gives me only 8 more girls than boys. The camp counselor wants to divide the boys into 2 groups. The first group is 8, 9, and 10. The second group is 11 and 12. Which group has more children in it? So, if we take our line plot for our boys and we make 2 groups, they want to split the 8, 9, and 10-year-olds up from the 11 and 12-year-olds. And then the question asks, who has more children in it? So this side only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. This side has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. So to accurately answer that question, which side has more children, our answer here would actually be neither. Because when we split the boys, there ends up being 5 on both sides. Couple of more questions. Which statement about the boys is true? So we're going to look at this line plot, and we are going to see if any of these statements are true. all of the boys are more than 9 years old. More than 9 is that tricky wording I told you about. More than 9 means that you cannot count 9, because 9 is not more than 9, it's equal to 9. More than 9 means that you're going to count the 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. All of the boys are more than 9. That's not true because we have 8 and 9-year-olds. There are more 10-year-olds than 11. There's only 2 10-year-olds and 4 11-year-olds, so that's not true. The oldest boy is 11. Well, no, we have a 12-year-old boy. There are more 10-year-olds than 9-year-olds. There are 2 10-year-olds and only 1 9-year-old, so then that statement is true. And then we're going to use the girls group line plot for this next one. Same thing. There are twice as many 12-year-old girls as there are 11-year-old girls. So we're going to go and see, are there twice as many, meaning 2 times as many 12-year-olds and 11? No, because there's actually less 12-year-olds than 11. There are 3 9-year-old girls. Go to our 9s, there are no 9-year-old girls. So then that's not true. Half of the girls are 10 years old. So we're going to have to really be doing some thinking here. So let's see how many girls are 10. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls that are 10 years old. And we need to see how many, if there's also 6 other girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 girls. There's a total of 12 players, and 6 of them are 10. So is 6 half of 12? Yes, 6 and 6 make 12, so 6 is half of 12. So that is our true statement. And we'll check the last one just to make sure. The youngest girl in the group is 7. Well, no, because we already said that our graph starts, or our line plot starts at 8 years old. So, hope that is a good little intro for you to line plots. I am going to do one more video that lets you guys practice line plots a little bit, and then you are ready to go.